Namaste. This is the last lecture in the lecture series. So we will start with a prayer. So prayer we have seen putting an intention. When you put an intention into the system, cosmos or consciousness, then that intention will become real, you can accomplish, you can fulfill those intentions. So our intentions are all noble intentions. There is no wickedness in our intention. So when you put a noble intention into the universe will support it. So we'll start with a prayer. Sindhuraruna vigraham tinayanam manikyam avalispurad Dharana shekharam smitamukhim abhinavachorubham panibhyam alipurna ratnachashagam rektotpalam bibhradim soumyam ratnahadasta rektajaranam dhyayet paramambigam. We surrender ourselves at the lotus feet of the Universal Mother, most compassionate and benevolent, for our own spiritual uplift. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. Thank you. So last lecture, last Saturday, we have seen that the yogi has healing powers. Yogi is basically a healer. Some people claim that yogis have supernatural powers of flying or sitting underwater, under the earth and all that. So we are not going into that. It's a yogi's wish list, I should say. You can strive for that, but that's not the most important characteristic of a yogi. A yogi has the healing power by a touch or a look or a word or his presence. He can heal people because he has healed or she has healed herself. Yoga means putting things together without destroying the individual unique nature of objects. The yogi is try to put things together, everything, because he has, so when he puts things together, he does not destroy the uniqueness of them. And yogi enjoys great concentration without forgetting the context or ignoring the context. So that concentration, samyama, he can apply in any field of activity and create outcomes, positive outcomes. So yogi has an ability to completely and fully immerse in whatever he or she is doing. That is why Patanjali says, so rupa shunyameva arthamatra nirbhasa. The yogi sees only the object of the pursuit. So you can apply this samyama, this capacity of the yogi in either the material field or in the spiritual field. So Patanjali is interested more in the spirit, the Purusha. So apply this concentration, the power of concentration, the ability to pierce into various layers of existence and reach the core of reality. Yogi has that power. So he is not just got caught up in the superficialities. He can go like even diving into the depth of an ocean beyond the superficial surface level disturbances. And he can take the diamond or the pearls hidden or lying at the base of the ocean. That's a yogic power. He can cut through the superficialities so that he is not disturbed. There is no disturbance. Another meaning of yoga is undisturbed state of mind with which you can penetrate into the core of things. So yogi is basically a healer. Some yogis may have supernatural powers, but that is not the basic characteristic of a yogi. He can put things together. In his presence, you feel a kind of solace. In the yogi's presence, you feel you have arrived. You feel you have a space. You have a place in the yogi's presence. That's the quality of a yogi. He can put things together. So we say in India, we say he's a garland maker. Why is a garland maker? Garland maker, he plucks flowers from various trees and then put them together into a beautiful garland to adore the Lord. Or you can say in the Western context, you can say the bouquet maker. Takes various flowers and makes a bouquet like this. So that's the nature of a yogi. And today, my talk will be on the Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is the core of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Even if you miss all other sutras, 195 sutras, if you can focus on these 30 sutras, which describe Ashtanga Yoga, 8-limbed yoga. Anga means a limb, 8-limb yoga. If you can consider Yoga Purusha, the person of yoga, the Yoga Purusha has 8 limbs. What are those 8 limbs? Or you can say 8 steps or 7 steps. The 8th step is into the yoga experience. Whether it is 7 step, 8 step or 8 limb, doesn't matter. So this 8-limbed yoga, which Patanjali describes in the 2nd chapter, which runs through the 3rd chapter also. So let us say 2nd chapter, 26th sutra. Those who read Patanjali Yoga Sutra, I am just giving you the numbers. 2nd chapter, 26th sutra, all the way to 3rd chapter, 4th sutra. So there are about 30 sutras. These 30 sutras is the heart or the core of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, where Patanjali describes the 8-fold path or 8 steps. And each step you experience certain peace, get certain insight, and get certain stability. Each step is valuable and meaningful. You cannot bypass these steps. One has to go through all these steps. You cannot build a 3rd floor without the 1st floor, isn't it? 1st floor is not possible without the ground floor. Ground floor is not possible without the basement. So each step is important. You cannot bypass it. In your hurry, you bypass it. Or should you not stay at one step also. You should move it. Because when you stay at one step, you'll be blocking other people who are trying to climb up, isn't it? So therefore, you have to move ahead. Keep moving till you reach the final destination, till you feel, I have arrived. That's the feeling, ultimately. So what are these 8 steps which Patanjali describes? Even if you miss all other parts of the yoga sutras, this particular 30 sutras are very, very important. There is a complaint about the Western practice of yoga. The Westerners are only concerned with the physicality of yoga, the physical discipline, lifting your hand, lifting your leg, or putting yourself physically in various postures. Therefore, the Westerners are not concerned with the higher aspects of yoga. Personally, I feel even if you are concerned with the lower aspects of yoga and you practice diligently, which the Westerners are doing diligently, you will naturally be taken, will be interested in the higher aspects of yoga. It's very difficult for a yogi to stay at one level because the force of yoga will take you all the way to the ultimate destination. So don't discourage a person who does just to do the physical yoga posture. Don't discourage that person because he also will be in the line, I should say, in the queue towards the highest state of yoga. At least you start somewhere, so that you can reach the ultimate zenith of yoga. So what is this 8 limbs of yoga? That is what we are going to see today. And what is the ultimate objective of yoga? We have seen it. All the last 10 talks I was talking about that. Purusha-khyadi, to recapture, reclaim your true identity. Now the present state, we have a false or mistaken identity. We identify with our shadow or with what we possess. That's our problem. We identify with what we see and what we possess, and you forget the possessor or the seer. That's the problem. We have discussed in detail. So this mistaken identity is a fundamental problem that human beings are going through. So we have to regain, recapture, reclaim our lost identity, which is called the Purusha. The Purusha has to be. Purusha does not have any gender meaning. Purusha is a philosophical concept. So your true identity is to be recaptured. That is the ultimate aim of yoga. And when you recapture your true identity, what is the mark of such a person? When you recapture your identity, you will be always happy. Very simple thing. You will be a very, very happy person, fearless. You feel you have got a lot of space to dance. You don't feel hemmed in. So that freedom, the true freedom, the other freedoms are not real freedom. The true freedom is this ability to be happy by yourself, all by yourself, and share that happiness with the whole world. Don't say that because of my neighbor I am unhappy. I was a yogi, I was in that state of happiness. I saw my neighbor and I again became unhappy. Nobody can make you unhappy. No even can make you unhappy. You are always a happy and fulfilled and bubbling, joyous, sharing, caring person. We have seen all this. The ultimate objective is that, to realize your true identity. And that true identity is something different from your physical nature, your emotional, your intellectual, your conceptual, your knowledge, your memory. One has to go beyond all this. Then alone, you realize your true nature. For that, you need certain practice. First is understanding, intellectual understanding, which we call surrender to the Guru. Surrender to the Guru means this intellectual understanding that by nature is infinite happiness. Do you have any objection to that? Do you have any objection? No, you are bothering me by saying my nature is infinite happiness and I am tired of being happy, and when can I be little unhappy? Isn't it? You cannot be tired of being happy. You can be tired of being unhappy. So don't say I am tired of being happy, because when you are happy, there is no other. Everything is integrated into your system. So therefore, let us hold on to this idea. When you say I am surrendering to the Guru, it is not rubbing your head at the feet of the Guru. Okay, you can do that. There's no problem with that. But that's not the true meaning. The true meaning of surrender is accepting, intellectually at least, that my nature is Purusha, infinite happiness. That has to be accepted. Thereafter, you don't complain in life. You don't feel a victim in life. Most of us are playing that victim game. I'm a victim and I have been exploited by others. All these narrative that we hear these days is false. Really, once you understand that, there is no victimhood at all. You're always, you take responsibility. We have seen that. I am responsible for my happiness. Meaning I have the ability to respond as a happy individual. All those things. We have been discussing the last 10 lectures, and I hope you are bought into this idea, that my nature. So the yogi says, first is an intellectual understanding, then the practice. Without the intellectual understanding, practice become a painful experience. With this intellectual understanding, practice become a pleasurable. You should start growing in your practice. Otherwise, we don't grow. When your guru is there, you may practice yoga. When he is away, you don't practice yoga because it's a very painful thing. I can do something better. So, once you have this intellectual understanding, then practice. So, practice. Patanjali says that. Abhyasa is very, very important. Every day, whether you like it or not, practices in the time will come. You will enjoy doing. You cannot do without practicing yoga, right? So, this idea must be very clear. And Patanjali says the task of yoga is anagatam dukkham heyam. The purpose of yoga is to remove your suffering. Your suffering, your fear. So we all have, we are a dukhi. Dukhi means I suffer. I don't know why I am suffering. Every parameters, looking at every parameter, I have no reason to suffer. I have money, health, relationship, everything is there. But still there is a sense of purposelessness. Vacuum. We have seen that. You wanted to buy a beautiful house, get a good job, move into a good city, marry this particular person, have children, grandchildren, every aspects of happy life is there, but still you feel certain emptiness at the end of the day. Why is it? Is the question. So Patanjali, this is dukkha Patanjali talk about. We feel we are alone, we are empty, no purpose. So heyam anagatam dukkham. This dukkha, which is called existential agony or angst, as they say, is to be, because we feel life is transient, we lose the near and dear ones. Because of this, there is dukkha, suffering. So how do we cope with this? Patanjali says, so he underlines this sutra, anagatam dukkham heyam. Suffering is to be removed. So how do you do that? What is the method? Patanjali says, viveka khyādir aviplava hanobhaya. You have to understand your real self. Viveka khyādihi. And that understanding is by objecting or observing your life. Observing. And discernment. Observation. When you observe, you transcend. We have seen that. When you observe a thing, the observer transcends the object that he or she observes. So be very observant in life, very alert in life. Don't lose your alertness. So, viveka khyādi. Viveka means the ability to separate the self from the non-self. The drishyam from the drik. The observer from the observed. That is called vivekam. Inability to separate from the grain from the chaff. The ability to separate. And then develop a new relationship between the real and the unreal. So that is the viveka khyādi. Khyādi means knowledge. A knowledge which comes from viveka. What is the viveka? Drik drishya viveka. Purusha prakriti viveka. That viveka. Observer, observed viveka. So for example, you observe your body. You observe your thoughts. I should not repeat it again and again. I have been repeating it so many times. So, but then we forget it. You observe your body. You observe your thoughts. You observe your memories. You observe your identity also. I am a Purusha, I am a man or a woman or a teacher. All those things you observe. So you are beyond all this. That is called viveka khyādi. So that viveka khyādi, hanobhayam, that khyādi, that knowledge alone can remove your suffering. Patanjali said it 2000 years ago. And we have been ignoring this. And we thought, no, I will science and technology and exploitation, colonial exploitation, this, that, and I will be happy. And we walked down that path for so long. Now we are coming back. to yoga. From bhoga, we are coming back to yoga. Yoga means my happiness depends upon how much I have and how much I consume. Yoga means my happiness depends upon how little I have. The less I have, the happier I am. And the less I consume, the happier I am. Of course, you need a certain level of consumption. I don't say you should, avoid food and all that. But certain moderate level of consumption. Don't go beyond that. So, viveka kyadir aviplava hanobaya. That's how you remove your suffering. Now, tasya saptada pranda bhumihi prajna. Patanjali says, to gain this viveka, you have to climb several steps. Various levels of viveka is to be practiced. So when you have viveka, you are able to observe, detach, and abide in your true self. So what are these 7 steps? That's what we are going to see. Most of you know these 7 steps. But it doesn't hurt. We discuss it together today. What are these 7? Because this seems to be the core of Patanjali's teaching. And Patanjali says, by practicing yoga, including, sitting in a particular posture, shaking your nose, and then doing pranayama, all these practices, yoga anushthanat, ashuddhi chaye, the ashuddhi means the impurities in the system, the toxic in the system, the impurity. What are the main impurity? Patanjali says, ignorance. Ignorance is the main impurity. Ignorance. And as a result of ignorance, then you develop a false identity. Klesha. Klesha is the word he uses. So false identity. Then likes and dislikes. Then running around. This is the ashuddhi which Patanjali talks about. So with tasyas yoganushthanat ashuddhi chaye jnana diptihi. And there is the light of knowledge arises in you. You start seeing things properly. Earlier you were not seeing things, not hearing things properly, not thinking through things properly. So all the sense organs were all clouded with this ashuddhi, impure. So you have to purify the system so that you can see things properly, hear, taste, touch. So your sense organs become very clear because all the impurities have been removed. So you are able to see things properly, and also you gain a certain depth about yourself. Sachuddhi chaye jnana diptihi aviveka khyatehe. As a result of this practice, true knowledge, the light of knowledge arises in you. So sense organs become purified, cleared up, and everything becomes clear to you. Just by a look, you understand things. At this point now, you understand everything wrongly and then act upon that. So yoga anushthanat ashuddhi chaye jnana diptihi aviveka khyadehe. Now, so therefore, what are these 8 limbs? Most of you know that. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyanam, samadhi. Just remember all this. Because this is the toolkit again. Are you practicing all this? So yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyanam, samadhi. Most of the people forget the yama and niyamas. I would add one more thing. Before yama niyama, I add one more thing. The ahara. Ahara means the food that you take. What kind of food that you take? So the quality of food is very, very important. What you eat is very important because you are what you eat. So I would add that also, because in the modern world, you find all kind of spurious food, junk food. As a result of that, you cannot even take the first step of yoga. So food, what you eat is very, very important. So Patanjali doesn't talk about that, but Patanjali begins with yama and niyama. So what is yama and niyama? Yama and niyama is what you practice off the mat. And the other disciplines what you practice on the mat every day. The off the mat, before you jump into the yoga mat, you should have practiced other discipline. What are the discipline? Patanjali says, Yama and niyamas. These are the two disciplines which you have to practice while you are interacting with the world. You are not still sitting on the yoga mat. So have a yoga mat in your house so that every day morning, at least you can look at that. When you see that, you remember, oh, I have to do yoga, isn't it? So, Yama niyamas. So, what is the Yama and the niyama? Yama is ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, brahmacharyam, aparigraham. Little tough. This is a tough cookie. Yama means ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, brahmacharyam, aparigraham. First, Patanjali says ahimsa. Patanjali is a great champion of ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-violent, like Gandhi. Great champion of ahimsa. Without ahimsa, you cannot practice yoga. With a gun in your pocket, you cannot practice yoga. So what ahimsa really means, of course, non-injury. You don't injure the other. Kayena, manasa, vacha. Physically, verbally, mentally, you don't injure the other. You respect the other. You include the other. So my translation for ahimsa is inclusion. Include the other without offending others' individuality and uniqueness. If you can do that, then you practice ahimsa. Of course, you may kill a mosquito. The mosquito is intruding into your private space, then you have every right to do something about the mosquito. Some people say, no, I should not kill a mosquito because next birth I will become a mosquito. Mosquito has no business to intrude into your space, nor do you have any business to intrude into mosquito space. And the world is wide enough for all of us. If you confine to your own peripersonal space, respect the peripersonal space of the other person. So you may squash a mosquito or catch a snake and leave it in the forest, whatever you want to do. So real ahimsa means respecting the individuality, the uniqueness of the other, and allowing the space, respecting the space that the other needs, so that we can create a garland, beautiful garland or bouquet. That's the idea of ahimsa. So ahimsa, and Patanjali says, when you practice ahimsa, you find that you have no enemies. When does one become an enemy? When does you feel enmity toward another person? Because you feel some threat from the other, isn't it? The other is my enemy because you feel in his presence your security is undermined. And when you have no intention, you may say by words, I have an intention of hurting you, but inside you are entertaining hurtful thoughts. Then your energy changes. Your body order changes. Body, smell changes. If you entertain such thought, you must have noticed that. If you love a person, hate a person, your own body metabolism changes. And that other will get that message. So therefore, it is not what you say, but you really feel, think inside. So respect the other. That is called ahimsa. Then there is no need of thinking of other things. So ahimsa is very, very important. Vairatyagam, then you will have no enemies. Maybe that is why Mahatma Gandhi said, Mahatma Gandhi had a lot of threats to his life. So Patel, the Home Minister, said, we'll put a post of security around your house or your ashram. Mahatma Gandhi said, no, I don't need any security. I know I am immortal. Nobody can hurt me. Nobody can harm me. When you have deep thought, then you will have no enemies. Because other doesn't feel any threat in your presence. So therefore, now you may say Mahatma Gandhi was shot at. Why did that happen? That is for you to think. But this is the theory. The theory is that when you practice non-violence, you will have no enemies. To the extent you practice, to that extent, you will have no enemies. Ahimsa. Then satyam. Satya means truthfulness. Again, by word, by deed, you should be truthful. Truthfulness is the alignment between what you think and what you say and what you do. You think something, you say something, you do something. When they are in alignment, then you are a truthful person. You are a fully integrated person. As a result of that, kriya bhalam, whatever you do becomes successful easily. All your actions will become successful when you practice truthfulness. So that's the benefit of practice. Some benefit, isn't it? What do I get out of that? Whatever you do, whatever you say, become true when you practice truthfulness. When there is no inner conflict and hypocrisy. Satyam. Asteyam. Asteya means live minimally. Steyanatva means a thief. Asteyam means non-thieving. When you take more than that you need, you become a thief. So here, your needs are minimal, which will make you healthy, which will make your environment healthy, which will create less tension in the society. So when you practice asteyam, take only minimally. I hear a story of Gandhi again. When he was in Allahabad or modern Prayagraj, on the banks of the Ganga, plenty of water. So we were staying in the house of Motilal Nehru, and they gave him a pot of water for shaving and all that. So Gandhi, unconsciously thinking about something, used more water. And he put all the soap on the face and he was trying to shave, and there is no water. So the host told him, "We can get you more water." Gandhi said, "No, because my quota is over. I should have been very careful. So I'll just wipe it." So that kind of commitment to asteyam is very, very important. Take only minimally what is absolutely necessary for a healthy life. So asteyam. As a result of that, you say, you create more wealth. Obviously, when you are very prudent in your expenditure, you will have wealth, isn't it? If you are a profligate, spend all the money, then you become poor. So here, as a result of practicing asteyam, you will be always rich. You will never become a poor man, he says. Then brahmacharyam. Brahmacharya is celibacy. As a yogi, it is better to be a celibate. If you are a married person, loyalty to your spouse. That is called brahmacharya. So practice brahmacharyam and viryam. Then you are always energetic, inspired, like Hanuman. You never feel tired when you practice brahmacharya. You are always inspired and energetic and always on the go as a brahmachari. So brahmacharyam is very, very important. Aparigraham. Aparigraham means non-possession. You understand all that you have belongs to the Lord, not to you. All that you have is belongs to the Lord, belongs to everyone. And you are only trustee of what you possess. That kind of attitude is called aparigraham. So these attitudes are very, very important before you go to yoga. Otherwise your mind will be thinking about all kind of scheming and planning and how to kill the other, how to marginalize the other, how to confiscate things from the other, how to exploit. Your mind will be full of such devious and mischievous thoughts. Therefore, these practices are important. Ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, brahmacharyam, aparigraham. So one has to write it down and put it on your table. So every day you have to check, kind of checklist. Am I practicing all this? To whatever extent you can practice, to that extent, you can ensure peace inside and outside, and you become a healthy person. Now another is, Yama and niyama. Niyama is, we are collectively discussing all this. Not that you don't know, but you are revisiting these values. We are collectively discussing these values. And other Yama and niyama. Niyamas are shaujam, cleanliness, which is very, very important. Physical cleanliness, emotional cleanliness, intellectual cleanliness, environmental cleanliness, the kind of clothes you wear, kind of food you eat. So there should be cleanliness, shaujam. And as a result of that, I don't have to explain more at that what cleanliness is. We all know that, but whether we practice it or not is the question. What is physical cleanliness? Take a bath every day. What is emotional cleanliness? Emotional cleanliness, you should always have positive thoughts, not negative thoughts. Count your blessings. Intellectual cleanliness, ability to understand things in the context, clarity of thought. So all this. And memory, cleanliness in the level of memory, that you are not, all the undigested memories you have, try to clean up that. So this way, at various levels of cleanliness is very, very important. Then sandosham. Sandosha means cheerfulness. Be cheerful. Whatever may be the situation, be cheerful. Every day go to the bathroom, look into the mirror and pull your chin towards the ear. That is called cheerful. Smile. Smile. In spite of all the problems, smile. That's the cheerful. That cheerful will take you all the way to ultimate happiness, Patanjali says. Tapaha. Tapaha means austerities. Austerities. By austerity, you create your own energy. Energy is there, tapped up. The Kundalini is there within you. So you can invoke that energy by disciplining yourself. So always think that you have that energy. Don't say, I have no energy, I am tired, I am sleepy. Because what you say, that you become. So invoke that inner energy that you have, tabas. For that, of course, some people say, I observe mauna, I observe fasting, I lie on the hard surface, on the floor, I reduce my salt intake, my sugar intake. All these are part of your tabas. And speak less. Imagine when you speak less in a day, that you get out of energy. So it's all there, untapped within you. So observing all this, you will be able to invoke great energy, he says. So swadhyaya tapaha kaya indriya siddhi, Patanjali says. Swadhyayam. Swadhyayam means self-observation or studying the scriptures. The scriptures talk about higher values in life. So study the scripture, Bhagavad Gita or Bible or Quran, whatever you believe in, or Patanjali. For us, Patanjali YOGASUTRAS. Study it every day. So it gives you a new way of looking at things, which is called a pramana, epistemic transformation. At this point, you are stuck with one way of looking at things. So by studying the scripture, you get a different way, multitudinous way of looking at things, understanding things, processing information. So this scriptural study is very important. At least read Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamade, Samprapte, Sannigide, Kale, Nagi Rakshadi, Dukkunkarane. Say Govindam, Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Every day, read the scripture. Instead of saying COVID, 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 say Govinda, Govinda, Govinda every day. So when you read the scripture, you get there is some transformation happens in your brain. Because the kind of words that you use define your quality of life. And hence, read the scripture. And the scripture says, scripture is that which gives you a different epistemic way of looking at things, different way of understanding things. So swadhyayam. Then Ishvara pranidhanam. In spite of all this, nothing happens to you. Then what do? Surrender to the Lord. I can do only this much. The rest is with you, O Lord. Now you lift me. You lift me from this morass. in which I have fallen. So ultimately, in spite of all your effort, if you don't see any progress, what would I do? Just surrender. Just give up. Just let it go. And then the Lord will lift you. You find a tremendous transformation instantaneously. Because what you do is very little. Whether you do asana, pranayama, pratyahara, all these are very little. What is most important is the ultimate surrender, ultimate explosion or immersion into this universal consciousness. So, Ishvara Pranidhanani, and as a result of that, samadhi siddhi, immediately you experience samadhi. When you have that attitude of surrender, I am giving up. I have come to the end of my journey. With that attitude, utter helplessness that we feel. Haven't you felt something that? And then you cry. Then you smile. Then you feel relief. Have you experienced that? When you come to the dead end, I feel utter helplessness. Then you sit and cry. You clean up your heart by your own tears. Then you feel very good. All of us have experienced. That's called a experience of transformation or conversion, as they say. I suddenly feel converted into a higher level of consciousness. So that cry, the ability to cry, that's also is very, very important. That feeling of helplessness. Like Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, Karpanya dosho bahada svabhava, prichamitvam dharma sammudha cheda, yashreyasya nischidam bruhime, chishyasteham shatinam. I have come to a dead end now. I am helpless. I can only cry. Then the help will come. The transformation will happen. The problem with the modern individual is he's so caught up in his own ego or her own ego that they have lost the ability to cry. We have to recover that ability so that real help can come. That does not mean you keep on crying in all places. No. The cry should be a real coming out of understanding of your helplessness. After making all the efforts, without making any effort and you cry, nothing will happen. Okay, let me start crying. A crying session. That doesn't help. After making all the effort, you reach the limit of your endurance. Then if you cry, something magical will happen. So, that is called Ishvara Pranidhanam. Once these attitudes are built in your system, you have this ability, this attitude, Yama, niyama. And then, next step is asana. Now you are moving to the yoga mat. Now you are sitting in a yoga mat and then practicing asana. Patanjali, very, very interestingly, with one or two sutras, he covers the asana part. Asana means a posture, ability to sit, ability to steady yourself physically, so that you won't fall in the bathroom, slip and fall in the bathroom. That's our problem, isn't it? After 70, our problem is we slip and fall in the bathroom. So when you practice this asana, whether sitting in a certain posture or in the vrikshasana, whatever posture, various postures are there, then you have an ability to master, ability to control your body so that you don't fall. Even if you slip, you are able to bring you back to the balance. So that is asana, ability to balance. A dancer, the ability to balance. Or a yogi sitting in a certain posture. So Patanjali doesn't waste much time on postures. He says, of course, some yoga text talks about 11 postures, 21 postures, 84 postures. But the essence of a posture is a physical balance. Ability to sit, ability to stand, walk, move from one place to another place. Are you in control physically? Is the question. If you have, then you have mastered your yoga. Even when you sit and talk, Your body language means a lot, isn't it? These days people talk about the body language. From the body language you understand your state of mind, your spiritual rootedness, everything is revealed by your body language. The mastery over the body is very, very important. Ability to say. So Sukhasana, Padmasana, Ardha Padmasana, Ardha Sukhasana, and Virasana, various asana. My job is not to teach you asanas now, that you have to go to a yoga teacher and master those asanas. But for me, if you can balance your body, when you move from one position to another position, or one place to another place, then you have mastered the asana. So Patanjali defined asanas, Stiram Sukham Asanam. Sukha means comfortable posture. If Padmasana is causing a lot of discomfort, don't do that. Don't do that. Then sit in Sukhasana or Virasana or even Shavasana. Lie on your back. Totally relax. Or draw your legs backward and sit on your hinges. That also is okay. Or Sukhasana. Fold your legs and sit down. So simple posture. The key word is, are you comfortable? Sukham. Stiram. Can you sit in that posture for at least 45 minutes? In that posture. Of course, various mudras, Chin mudra, Sukha mudra, mudras also. Patanjali doesn't talk about mudras, but the other yoga texts talk about mudras. So, how you sit comfortably for 15 to 45 minutes. That is called a posture. Stiram Sukham Asana. And I guarantee, if you sit 15 minutes in that steady posture, you can regain your health. You'll be healthy and comfortable. 15 minutes, you have to sit in that posture. So, asanam. Every day you have to practice it. This is not something to be heard. It is to be practiced. Every day, sit in that posture. 15 minutes. Of course, your mind will be wandering all over. But your physical posture is very steady. Either you sit in this Chin mudra and sit there. There is no movement at all. You can open your eyes or close your eyes. No movement at all. As still as a distant hill, Patanjali says. Sit like a rock there. 15 minutes. So that will discipline the body. Stiram. Or sometimes people say, okay, you can sit on a chair. When you are sitting on a chair, plant your feet firmly on the ground. And again in Chin mudra. Sit on a chair. So asanam. Stiram Sukham Asanam. That's the definition of asana by Patanjali. Should be comfortable and should be steady. As a result of that, Tataha Dvandva Anabhigata. As a result of that, you avoid all kind of inner conflict, he said. Dundum. All inner conflict will disappear. All thought disturbances will go by this physical posture. Complete silence. There is no inner conflict, no inner dialogue. Of course, initially there will be inner dialogue. All that will go. So Patanjali says, Tataha Dvandva Anabhighadaha. Then there is no inner conflict. And this anybody can do. So begin with that. Don't do anything else. Just master this posture. Sitting quiet. You are sitting on a chair, plant your feet, sit quiet. Dvandva Anabhighadaha. As a result, you master your inner conflict. After this, so this has to be practiced for maybe 4 or 5 weeks. Just doing this, nothing else. After this, you can practice Pranayama. So now we are moving to another level of your personality, from the physical to the energy level, Pranayama. So Pranayama we have seen Anuloma, Viloma. Deep breath and hold it for some time, which is called Kumbhaka. So breathe in, pause, breathe out, pause. This you can do, every 3 hours. Whenever you are disturbed, do the pranayama. Breathe in, pause, breathe out. And if you master this pranayama, you will be able to hold the breath inside 64 counts. Don't go beyond that. Then you will build up carbon monoxide in the system. 64 counts. And after breathing out, hold the breath outside for 32 counts. That's the maximum you can do. 32 counts means you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mentally as you hold the breath. So, pranayama is to be practiced. These are all secrets of health. You invest some time for all this. Practice pranayama. How many times you have to do this pranayama? Maybe 6 to 12 cycles. 6 to 12 cycles. A cycle means you take breath, hold it, then breathe out, hold it outside. This is one cycle. Take breath through one nostril, hold it by blocking both the nostrils, then breathe out through the other nostrils, and hold the breath outside for 32 count. It's all, you can consult a yoga teacher. This pranayama practice. Then pranayama, there are different kinds of pranayama. Fast breathing, which is called Kapalbhati, all those things. So pranayama is to be practiced. As a result of that, Patanjali says, when you practice pranayama, tataha kshiyate prakashavaranam, then the avarana, the cloud in the mind, will slowly disintegrate and disappear. Your mind becomes clearer and clearer. Your body becomes healthier and healthier. And your prana start flowing through all parts of the body. Sometimes you say blood is not flowing to the toe. So I did not know the toe was hurt. And then gangrene sets in, isn't it? So for the proper flow of blood all over the body, pranayama will help. Deep breathing will help. So that you don't have to get into these problems. So, tataha kshiyate prakashavaranam. As a result of that, the cloud in the mind. Avarana means the cover. Then the cover. The mind is covered by all kind of filth, toxic things. All can will be removed. So pranayama, tataha kshiyate prakashavaranam. So you find the light of the self start radiating into the system. That's what you experience. You gain more clarity about things. So tataha kshiyate prakashavaranam. Dharanasu yogyada manasa. Mind become more focused. All distractions, all disappear. And you can focus wherever you want. Whether you're a scientist or a mathematician or a dancer or sports person, whoever you are, or a surgeon, whoever you are, you're able to focus better as a result of pranayama. So I will recommend pranayama for all people across the spectrum. Everybody has to practice pranayama and asana. So your nadis will open up and energy will flow and there will be a glow on your face. Your body looks like a baby's body because of clear and clean as a result of pranayama. You never age. You never age if you practice pranayama every day. 6 to 12 cycles. Then what happens? Pratyahara. Then you start opening that inner eye. Now the inner eye is closed. You see only the outside object. So pratyahara means deepening the awareness. So your awareness becomes deeper and deeper. Inner eye is open. The third eye is start opening. You see something deep within you. Earlier you saw only what is outside. So pratyahara, the inner eye opens. You deepen your awareness. A door to the inner dimensions open up. The pratyahara. And so Patanjali defined pratyahara. So Vishaya asamprayoge. Then you are not caught up in this material world of sensations and excitements and entertainment and all that. Your mind is very balanced. You know what is necessary, what is unnecessary. You pick only necessary things. So we say asamprayoge, there is no more indulgence. Chitta swarupa anugareva indriyana. So indriyas gain clarity, sense organs gain clarity, and it abides in the mind. Mind is not jumping through the sense organs and aggrandizing things. So chitta swarupeva indriyana. Tataha parama vashyada indriyana. So you gain a great mastery of the sense organs and organs of action. All your action, your hand movement, your leg movement, your eyes. Sometimes you are not able to control your eyes. If you set the wrong direction, another guy gets the message. So you control over the eyes, ears, everything is under control. You become a master of sense organ. So once this happened, now you build up a lot of energy, inner energy, which has been wasted or dissipated. You develop that energy. Now you are ready for the takeoff. Isn't it? Like an aeroplane, it runs on the runway slowly, then it picks up speed, then it lifts its nose, then the whole plane is afloat. Isn't it? So similarly, you're slowly building up that inner energy. Sitting, doing pranayama, and opening that inner eye, and then you suddenly pick up. So desha bandhaha chittasya dharana. Now we have the ability to focus. Either you focus on the world outside, whatever pursuit you are undertaking, or you focus. Our focus is now the inner self, the Purusha. So Patanjali says, desha bandhaha chittasya dharana. So Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara. Pratyahara means pratyaharati. Your attention is drawn towards within you. That's called pratyahara. Then what happens is, you are able to focus on the chosen field, whatever you want to focus. You gain that penetrative insight, vision. So, desha bandhaha chittasya dharana. So, mind, chitta means mind. Mind start that, get that inner focus. Because the light of the self radiates. You start seeing that inner light also. Earlier you were not seeing that. So, desha bandhaha chittasya dharana. Tatra pratyaya egadhanada dhyanam. Dhyana is the ability to continue focus on the inner self without any distraction. So the light radiates, you get the message, you start listening the inner message, and your attention is drawn towards the inner self, and then you are continuously there, you are not distracted at all. These are all on the mat. And you can continue to practice off the mat also. So that you are always aware of who you are. You never lose sight of who you are while you are engaging in the world. Like an actor. While he's playing on the, doing different roles on the stage, he knows who he is or she is. Isn't it? I'm tired of citing this example, like an actor, Amitabh Bachchan, the famous actor, Hollywood actor, when he plays the role of a coolie, he knows he is rich. Not only that, he is smiling all the way to the bank, isn't it? Though he is playing the role of a coolie, he knows he is not. So similarly, you are in the world playing different roles, but you know who you are. So the ability to know who you are without forgetting your real nature and to interact with the world is called samadhi. That interaction also with your body also. Your body can become old, your body can become sick, and your knowledge, you may not know everything. These are all role playing that you are. The real nature is Nitya Shuddhi Sukha Atma. That is never forgotten. That insight is it. So Tatra Pratyaya Egadhanada Dhyanam. This is called Dhyanam. So what is really Dhyanam? Of course, if you are doing mathematics or you are driving, there is a dhyana involved because you are meditating on what you are doing. But the real dhyana means always remembering who you are without forgetting. That is called real dhyana. So, tatra pratyaya egadhanada dhyanam tadeva arthamatra nirbhasan. Finally, a stage comes. You are the Purusha, the infinite consciousness. There is no doubt at all. Pratyaya egadhanada tadeva arthamatra nirbhasa. That alone remains for you. The rest are all mithya, Shankara said. The rest are all is a shadow play. This alone is real for you. When that stage comes, you are in samadhi on the mat and off the mat also. So to put it simply, I would say a true yogi, one who has climbed the 8 steps of yoga. So what are the 8 steps of yoga? Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyanam, samadhi. Now he attained the samadhi. Samadhi means he is equanimous and he is not disturbed or she is not disturbed and he is always joyful. That's it. Whether it is Krishna or Christ, Krishna is always joyful, isn't it? Though he lived his life situations were very, very miserable. He was born in a jail and he grew up with his foster parents. He had to fight with his uncle. He has to run away from his native country to different place. All these things happen. And finally his own people fought among themselves. And he has to climb up a tree and sit there. Because otherwise they will chase and again drag him. And then he was hit by a hunter. But when you think of Krishna, you only see how smiling, joyful, dancing was Krishna. Even Jesus Christ on the cross, nails driven, he only said, God, forgive. Gandhi, Hey Ram. So that ability. When a child kicks the mother, the child sitting in the lap of the mother kicks her, mother is happy, isn't it? All the protein and milk I gave him showing up, isn't it? So similarly, you are always happy. It is a roller coaster ride. That ability to remain happy under all conditions is called yoga. The rest are all details. Whether you stand on your head, on your nose, or whatever you do, if this ability is not there, then you have not reached yoga. So what is the final message of yoga? The final message of yoga: be happy and deal with the world. Let me put it that way. Be happy and deal with the world. Deal with your body. Deal with your mind and be happy. Then everything will become clear to you and you have arrived. So that is the final message of yoga. So this is the 2nd chapter, 26th sutra to 3rd chapter, 4th sutra, but 30 sutras are there. That is the core of yoga, which Patanjali talks about. So I am happy that we could spend these 11 weekends on discussing Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. This is only a sample or taste. I am giving you a taste of yoga. Now you have to catch hold of a guru or a yoga teacher and discuss with that person. And if you have any doubt when you read Yoga Sutra, you can write to me. My email is available with you. You can write to me. I am always available to clear your doubt as much as I can. But when you practice yoga, your doubts will be cleared by itself. Any problem you have, you can write to me. So let us continue this joint enterprise, exploring the discipline of yoga. And I can share you my experience, you can share your experience with me. Sometime when you practice, you may even gain supernatural powers, who knows? So all these are possible but you can become a good healer, meaning in your presence, everybody will be happy. So thank you very much. This is the end of this series, and maybe we'll see you next week, next year, and on some other topics. I have not yet decided. Some people suggest Mahabharata, ethical issues in Mahabharata, ethical challenges in Mahabharata. Let me see what we can do next year together. But as far as Yoga Sutras is concerned, I opened the door for you. Walk in and see the beauty of yoga. Thank you once again.